talk about one more thing on the future of technology. I told you I'm going to spend a long time on this, but it's pretty cool. So right now, everyone has sensors everywhere, right? So there's a concept of iBeacon, beacons. How many people have heard of beacon? Okay, good. 3 people. Awesome. Maybe 4. So beacon is basically, right now I have GPS on my phone, right? And GPS on my phone tells me where I am, approximately. Good enough for me to call an Uber car. What beacon does is it tells me exactly where I am in a store, which aisle I'm on. It says exactly your location. If I'm in a bar and you're trying to serve me alcohol, you know exactly where I am in the bar. So it gives me very, very granular level location information. And sensors are everywhere. So in a world where sensors are everywhere, you now have insane amounts of data, right? If a company is a business, you're trying to take that information and create actionable decisions that are going to help ultimately improve your business. It's not just like, right now it's kind of like, oh, it's cool to get a bunch of data about people. Let's gather all this data. And let's give them these cards and track every transaction they do in a grocery store. Let's give them these credit cards. But in reality, you have to try to think about what does that actually mean for business and how can I make actionable decisions. That is big data. That is machine learning. How do I take massive data sets, millions and billions of rows, and make sense of that data? How do I find structure in these massive data sets? And that's what machine learning is all about. So machine learning is going to be huge, and I highly recommend everyone in this class takes a lot of statistics classes. I studied statistics, so I'm also biased, but I think it's important, especially when you look at the power of machine learning, which is kind of like statistics plus computer science. All right, the last thing is Internet of Things. So the Internet of Things is the concept of smart buildings, smart cars, smart house, and the concept of having 50 billion devices in the next few years that are connected to the internet. Right now, the main devices connected to the internet are your iPhone, your iPad, your computer, and there are a few items that are connected to the internet, like the Nest thermostat and all these things. In the future, everything will be connected to the internet. So that's what the Internet of Things is all about. If your car is connected to the internet, and every item in your house is connected to the internet, and your building right now is connected to the internet, then you're going to see a world where you have a ton of devices, and your phone becomes a remote control to all those devices. So you walk into before you arrive home, your phone is talking to your oven and your fridge, and it's telling your phone and the fridge and your oven that, oh, Randy is in his car. I just entered my car. I'm probably going to arrive home in 20 minutes because we know traffic. The traffic law, because you have devices in every other car. You know where every other car is located, so you know traffic. So it's going to be like, oh, and it's a Wednesday evening, so I probably want like a meal that's chicken, so it's going to start heating the chicken. And it's going to take the chicken out of the fridge, and it's going to start eating it. That's a world where you have Internet of Things, where all the items are talking together. We already have the concept, have you guys seen the egg, where you have like 12 eggs, and as soon as you start running out of eggs, that's connected to the internet, and it says, oh, there's only 2 eggs left. Probably going to use a few eggs in the next week. Let's order from Amazon Fresh more eggs. And you can do that with toothpaste and razors. So all these items are connected to the internet, so you know when you need your next one, and so you can have subscription, so you can get them delivered with Amazon Fresh. And in the future, you can use 3D printing. I can just print it. I don't even need to deliver it. So you change the way you think of logistics. And you can think of drones, which is another amazing technology, and how that changes the whole art of delivery. Right now, if you want to deliver items, it's just really hard to deliver items in China and India because infrastructure is not great. So Walmart went there, and they realized that the cost structure of delivering items to their stores is very different in countries without great infrastructure and highways and roads. So we take this for granted in the US, but that's not the case in many other countries. And so if you have drones, then if there's a hurricane, an earthquake, or you're in a country with poor infrastructure, I can still deliver items. I can use a drone if this actually happened, I think, yesterday. So this guy came up with an idea of like, okay, we can use autonomous drones that understand GPS and can actually run on their own, to deliver defibrillator, right? So if someone has cardiac arrest, you can trigger, you can send a message that will then trigger this autonomous drone to come and provide for your defibrillator. It will be the fastest ever way to get a defibrillator. And you can save someone's life. And you can think about that in any specific scenario, right? If there's a city where there's war, if there's a city where there's a hurricane, you can now deliver aid through a drone, regardless of infrastructure problems. So the drones is really going to change the way we think of delivery and transportation and logistics.